Welcome back to Coffee and Tea with CarrieVee. I'm CarrieVee, your biggest fan, the person who will believe in you until you can believe in yourself. And then I'm just going to keep on believing on in you after you do. Coffee and Tea with CarrieVee is all things confidence, clarity, leadership, communication. It is all things life. We show up real, we have real conversations. And joining us today, again, I'm so happy, it's been a while, is Drew Deraney. And he is here to drop gold nuggets. So unless you're driving, grab a notebook and grab a pen because you are going to want it. Drew, welcome back to Coffee and Tea with CarrieVee.
Thanks so much for having me, Carrie. It's so good to see you.
Oh, it's so good to see you too. So we want to know, Drew, what is your driving force in your life right now?
Oh, geez, and it's funny you say right now, and I've had a lot of right nows. My
Good.
driving force right now is and always has been my children. Key one right now, and for the last probably about a year and a half, has been my oldest son Matthew, who's 23 and has autism spectrum disorder.
Okay.
And it's not like he just had it overnight.
Mhm.
He's had it obviously since he was born,
Yes.
and he's diagnosed at a relatively older age than I would have liked, or his mom would have liked. We
Mhm.
didn't know what we didn't know at the time, so he
Right.
was diagnosed at age 14 back in 2016, and
Wow.
at that time, there wasn't as much information out there as there is now. But we
Hmm.
were in that, oh my goodness, what do we do now?
Yeah.
First question you ask when you find something where you knew something was off and something was going on.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting that once a label is put on, not that labels are good, but once that we had a diagnosis and we were able to tie symptoms to a diagnosis, and then we had places to go, people to see, people to
Hmm.
talk to, it was good. And fast forward to now, he's had a tough time, very challenging time the last year or so, and I took a hiatus from my men's coaching business,
Hmm.
and I spent all my time, energy, money, everything, my heart and soul, to be there for him.
Yeah.
And what I realized is, that I was a caregiver. I am a caregiver. We are caregivers,
Hmm.
and I forgot myself during this time frame because my goal was to take care of my son.
Yeah.
And even though they tell us when we're sitting in the airplane to put the oxygen mask on yourself first,
Yeah.
if you look around the airplane when they're telling us that, no one's paying attention.
Isn't that the truth?
They don't. I try. I don't pay that much attention to it. And so
Guilty.
with this,
Mhm.
yeah. So with this going on with my son, I wasn't paying attention to the oxygen mask on myself either. And
Mhm.
I gained 40 some odd pounds, and that was a weight put on my physical body.
Mm.
And also the other five pillars of family health, as I call them. I've created what I call now the six pillars of family health.
Mhm.
That's my passion right now, and I've switched my men's coaching. Still coach men because we're 50% of the population. I coach caregivers on how to take care of themselves as compassionately as they care for their loved ones, because we can't forget about ourselves. It's got to start with us.
That is so beautiful, Drew, and so real. As I was listening to you talk, I was trying to remember the last time that I had you on. I feel like it's been 3 years, maybe.
It's been almost that long, and I think I've had probably four iterations of myself in that time frame,
You and
ever
me both.
evolving. Yeah, ever.
Yeah, and listening to you, so much going through my mind. We cared for my mom in our home for 3 years,
Right.
and until she passed away in May of 2021, and I don't know that I have still gotten back around to me. It's so easy to lose yourself
Yeah,
in
it
that
is.
caregiver role, and waking up and really looking at yourself and going, "What happened to me?"
Yeah, absolutely. It's also, we throw the word expert, that term, around very
Mm.
easily, and I have my certification in mindset mastery. I certainly am not an expert, because one of the things I learned in that certification is that even we experts have slippage.
Yeah.
We may take a step forward, and at some point we're going to take a couple steps back. It's going to happen because we're human.
Yes.
And that happened to me. I'm sure it happened to you, and it may still be
Mhm.
happening to you, and that's okay. It's natural. It's a matter of catching it a little quicker than we used to.
Yeah.
and doing something about it so it doesn't perpetuate.
You're oh, see, I told everybody you're gonna want this notebook. So we already have the gold. All right, Drew. So you talked about the 6 pillars.
Yeah.
Can we go through those
Mhm.
6 pillars and just really hear, because I
Yeah,
love this topic. Love this.
absolutely. So the 6 pillars of family health. When I ask you, Carrie, how healthy is your family? What's the first thing you think about?
The first thing I think about is physical health.
Physical health. So that's one of the 6 pillars. When you really want to look at the whole human being, which is what I'm talking about, is we have our physical health. We also have our mental health. We have our emotional health. We have our cognitive health, and we also have our spiritual slash energetic health, and we have our
Mhm.
financial health. And those 6 pillars, I'd say, speaking to caregivers, we're all lucky. If I ask the question, Carrie, on the scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I am there, I have exactly what I need. We're probably one of 6 pillars. Each caregiver can say that at any given time,
Mhm.
and we deserve to have all 6 pillars to be at that 10. And that's something that people aren't really saying or believing, and that's really where I come in. It's those 6 pillars, and pillars is an acronym now. The P stands for physical health. All right. The
Mhm.
I in pillars stands for intellectual or cognitive health.
Okay.
All right. I'm doing this out of memorization here. So the first L is love, love or emotional health. All
Okay.
right. So you have PIL. The other L is legacy or financial health.
Okay.
Right. The A, and this is where I stump myself because I got to start thinking about the A is emotional health. It would have to be the emotional. I think this would be the mental health, and I got to find out where what the A stands for. Maybe
Uh-huh.
I have looked at it. Anyway, and then the R is resilience. So because I
Oh,
put that in there, that's not part of the acronym, but it's the R is resilience, and the S is spiritual slash energetic health.
I
So
love
the
this.
intent is that pillars, each of the letters stands for one of the
Mhm.
6 pillars of health, and then resiliency. You have to be resilient in order
Awesome.
to accomplish all 6 of those to the level that you need. We need it. So.
That is so beautiful. And is there a pillar that you find that many people struggle with the most, or is it really individual and people struggle with different?
Uh, Initially, I mean, it always comes back to the physical health.
Mhm.
I think to start, you want to feel comfortable in your own skin, comfortable in your clothing, comfortable about you, and even though it doesn't matter how much we weigh, what people think of us, the truth is people do have biases, and
They
they're the
sure do.
first thought is what they see.
Mhm.
And of all the things that all the pillars I mentioned, you see the physical health,
Yes.
and you can kind of tell physically if you look in someone's eyes, you look at the quality of their hair and their skin tone. I'm learning a lot that how healthy your fingernails are, how healthy
Mhm.
your hair is, how healthy your eyes are, has a lot to explain the correlation between how physically healthy you are and how emotionally, mentally, and cognitively and spiritually healthy you are, and
Yeah,
financially. Because if you're not financially healthy, it puts a physical drain on you
true.
too.
True.
So I would say physical is like the obvious one right away, and then
Mhm.
second would be financial, because if we don't know what to ask or who to go to, and we start spending money like we're throwing darts on a dartboard, the money goes fast, especially in this economy the way it is, and that happened to me. So I would say those first two. People overlook the other three, mental, cognitive, and emotional, and then the spiritual and energetic is definitely ignored by a lot of people because some people think it's foo-foo and it doesn't matter, but it really does. If we
It
just
does.
think we're the highest entity and there's no higher power, then we feel like we're going it alone. And so
Yeah,
faith has a lot to do with how
absolutely.
healthy we are too, I believe.
I believe that too. I actually had that conversation with a friend this morning, something that's going on in her life, and she said, "I just wish I knew the outcome." And I said, "You know, the beauty of it is that we don't.
Yeah,
That's the beauty of it.
it is. Yeah,
And
and
yeah,
I
having
think
that.
the beauty is not knowing, but also the beauty is keeping that positive outlook as we're going through it and trusting the process. We do have some kind of, not going to say control over the outcome, but we can guide it by
Yeah.
not self-sabotaging, by not
Mm.
forcing the issue. So there are ways that a positive mindset can help the outcome.
Yeah, so let's dive into that then. In all of these pillars, how does our mindset help us through if we wake up one day, and I know we don't, it's not, you're not physically waking up and going, oh my gosh, I gained 50 pounds overnight. But I feel like we wake up and look in the mirror and go, oh my gosh, what do I do? I don't
Right.
even know. Or we
Yeah.
open up our bank account and we're like, wait a minute, when did this happen? Or a credit
Mhm.
card statement. Like, how does our mindset help us through those moments where we're like, I have to change something here?
Yeah, that's a good question. Most of it is being really aware as often as we can be about what's going on right now. I mean, I remember when I wake up in the morning now, first thing I think of is I'm going to do my stretches. I
Hmm.
actually stretch in bed, my legs, because I'm 56 years old. And if
Uh-huh.
I don't stretch in bed, when I try to get out of bed, I feel like the Tin Man on the Wizard of Oz before Dorothy gives the oil can. So,
Yep.
so the first thing I think of is I want to be able to get out of bed and not feel pain and stiffness.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do my stretches, and I do, and it makes me feel better. And so that first step out of bed, I feel good because I already accomplished something. I did my stretching, and then
Yeah.
I fix my bed. That's accomplishment number two, and then you celebrate those two things. So it's kind of interesting that we can teach our brain whatever we want to teach it,
True.
and it learns based on what it hears. And so if it learns based on what it hears, if we can keep ourselves to eliminating negative words, therefore helps us eliminate negative thoughts, then our brain only hears positive stuff and it adapts and it learns and then it carries us forward. So
Mhm.
I think I think most of it really starts with our thoughts. I think our thoughts come first because we have over 70,000 thoughts a day
Yeah.
and we only recall like 1,400 of them. So
Exactly.
subconsciously, we got those thoughts, which I think then cause our emotions. So
Mhm.
if we can have a lot more positive thoughts by changing our words and changing, not worrying about things that happened in the past because it's done, and not focusing on what's going to happen with the outcome or the future, and we focus on what we can do right now to make myself 1% better today,
Yeah.
then I think that's going to help. If you have a goal of improving 1% each day in one of those six pillars, let me improve 1% in one of those six or all six.
Mhm.
Heck, I do all six. I got every morning. I've got this notebook here where it says it's labeled 1 to 28, and it's got sleep, stretch, shower, whether medication or vitamins I take, feed the pets, journal, gratitude, meditate, breathe. Anyway, all these 28 fit into the six pillars. So each day I'm consciously like pushing myself to be accountable to take care of at least one aspect of those six, each of the six pillars every single day. And the
Wow.
more you do it, I think it's like 20, if I do 21 consecutive days, starts to form a habit, all
Yes.
those kind of things.
Mhm.
Because it goes the same thing with negative stuff. If we do the negative thing the same amount of time consistently, that causes bad habits.
Right.
So why not do the same with good stuff?
Exactly.
You know?
So, how do you keep those negative thoughts from building? Because I 100% agree with you,
Yeah.
100%. And I have people who will say to me, "Yeah, but the negative thoughts just keep coming. I don't know what to do with them. What do we do with them?"
I mean, you want to acknowledge them. You don't ignore them. They're there for a reason. It's your subconscious telling you something.
Mhm.
So what I do is I listen to that thought. I take a deep breath. I usually like in through the nose 4 seconds.
Mhm.
Then I pause 4 seconds, and then out through the mouth 6 seconds. And I actually have a what's it called? I drop something. Hold on a second. manifestation. So I
Yeah.
created this manifestation for myself, and unfortunately, I have to admit these have to go on.
Got
So
mine
I
right next to me.
say I am calm, clear, and courageous. I lead with love. I live with purpose, and I rise with strength.
Mm.
There's something with all six pillars in there, and what's kind of cool when I do the meditation or the breathing, I inhale slowly for 4 counts. I am calm. I hold for 4 counts. I am clear. I exhale for 6 counts. I am courageous.
Ooh, I love.
So there's a way to address all six pillars on every aspect of your day. Yet
Yeah.
if you're not aware of the present moment, you're not going to be able to do those things without thinking. Like I'm trying
Yeah.
to create, like, you know how, like, if you don't drive in a week and then you get in your car, you can drive. It's like the subconscious, the autonomic response, because
Yeah.
been there, done that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
If we can do that with driving, tying our shoelace, all that kind of stuff, then we should be able to do that with our words and our actions and our thoughts and our behaviors and all that kind of stuff. So,
What a great point. What a great point. And I love that. I I love that. This whole conversation is so right up my alley. So, how did you start to put yourself back on a path of healing when you said you went in, you became a caregiver, and you
yeah.
lost yourself with all these things? How, because you obviously, I mean, you
Yeah.
look fabulous now. You look awake. You look healthy.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. So, how did you get there? How did you reverse that?
It's funny. I actually read my own book.
Love it.
It's, well, think about it. We give you and we give people advice when they ask for it, right? And
Yep.
how often do people say to you, Carrie, thank you so much for that advice. It was so helpful,
Yeah, all the
right?
time.
And
Hmm.
then how often do you look in the mirror and say, Carrie, you can give this advice, and they say it's great. Why don't I listen to my own damn advice?
Yeah, why indeed?
I don't listen to my own advice.
Yeah.
So I read my book, which is, it's not a plug, but it's about being a reformed people pleaser.
I want you to give it a plug. I
Yeah,
want
well,
you.
I mean, it's called "I'll Have What She's Having: Memoir of a Reformed People Pleaser," because I wrote the book knowing I wasn't reformed. I wrote the book knowing I could slip. I wrote the book in the aspect of the Drew of right now educating the Drew of years past,
Mm.
knowing that the Drew of years past wouldn't have listened to me now,
Ah,
nor would I really want him to, because you and I wouldn't be talking now if we changed anything from our past.
right.
So, but I had to read my book again so I could remember that I should throw away regrets, because I don't have the tools right now to allow me to excel. Let me go find those tools,
Hmm.
because usually when we regret for something we did, we just didn't have the tools to do the job, because the tools weren't available.
Right.
So we did the best we could with the tools we had. So again, I went back to ditching regret and giving and forgiving myself. So forgiveness is so powerful. So I went back to what I wrote in the book, and then I also, in order to get rid of the fear of the future, I set myself some goals and desires that let me do what I can do within my control to go after those goals. Then you're not as afraid of the outcomes, because you're taking control of the behavior towards that goal. And then
Yeah.
in order to stay in the present moment, it's all about gratitude. I started writing my gratitude list again. It's funny, the whole gratitude, people go, oh yeah, gratitude. Well, you know what? Do you like coffee and tea with CarrieVee, right? So how many steps does it take to get that cup of coffee, that first sip? How
How
many? How
many?
many would you think? How many steps does it take in the process of be able to take your first sip of a hot cup of coffee?
Yeah. Well, going downstairs, pulling the coffee out of the fridge, putting it in the filter.
Right. So
Uh,
so you go back. So let's think of. I bet you we could come up with 30 things you're grateful for when it comes to pouring a cup
yes.
of coffee.
Oh, what a
So
great point.
so you're in your bed and you woke up. There's your first gratitude, right? That you woke up, right?
Yes.
And then I stretch in the morning, but you can actually get out of bed, right? I
Yeah.
can move my body, because some poor people can't. not
Yes.
poor people, but I feel some people cannot move.
Yes.
Then I put my 2 feet on the floor. Well, we have 2 feet. Some people, they have 1 foot
Yeah.
and they can't do that or whatever. So you get out, and then they took your steps, and then you have, you have a bedroom, you have a roof over your head and a bed that allowed you to sleep. You were able to sleep. I'm grateful I got my 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Then you walk down the stairs. Well, you have a home, you have stairs, kitchen, refrigerator. Refrigerator's got a handle on it. You've got electricity.
Yeah.
You got your half and half, and it's cold because it's not expired because you have electricity, right? I mean, like,
Yes.
you have a strong enough wrist and hand to be able
Oh
to
my gosh.
pour.
Yeah.
You put the filter in. So it's just an example of the mundane things that we take for granted.
Yeah.
If we're grateful for every step in the process, because people say to me, Drew, you write down 100 things you're grateful for each day. Well, you can do it. I just gave you an example of, you could just say, okay, because people right away will say, my family, my health. Okay, now what? Okay, my pets. Okay, now what? Well,
Oh, that is so good.
yeah.
That is so good. I have a dear friend who shattered her wrist a
Mm,
few weeks ago and had to have surgery on it. And she said to me today, I can't even pick up a piece of paper. And
mm,
I said, I've been there. I've shattered both of my wrists in the
mm,
past. And I
yeah.
and I remember that. I remember having to relearn to pick a water bottle up
Oh, wow.
and have the strength to do it with whatever arm was rehabilitating. And
Yeah. Yep.
and it really, so the whole time you were saying that, I thought, gosh, I just the thought of being thankful that I
Yeah.
can. I mean, it just brought it all back that there was a time that I could not lift a water bottle. I could not take a lid off a water bottle.
Right.
And how
Wow.
important it is to be grateful for those things, because there are people, a lot of people in the world right now who can't do this simple motion.
That's true. Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. You have given us, see, I promised everybody gold nuggets and you're bringing them. And you are so right with the gratitude piece, and that touches every pillar, correct? That
It does. It does. Gratitude. Yeah. I mean, basically, you could just think of, physically, that you are able to get up in the morning,
Mhm.
right? And then, the intellectual, cognitive, you're grateful that you're able to read, right? Because
Yes.
to keep your mind sharp, being able to read helps you be strong cognitively. And awareness. If you're be able to be aware, and by the way, that's the A in pillars. I just looked something up. The
Oh,
A
yeah.
is awareness or mental health. So awareness is in there. You could love and emotional. I'm thankful for my having a family. That's love. You go to legacy. I'm happy I have a roof over my head. Well, money pays for that, so I have the money to for the roof over my head. Happy to be resilient, and then my God or Jesus or whoever you believe in for the spiritual or energetic. I'm glad I have a lot of energy today. It comes
Yeah. I
so.
This is so good. I will never think of the word pillars the same again.
Yeah.
It is fabulous. So, I can't believe our time went this fast. Well, we're gonna have to have you back because I would love to talk about each pillar individually
Mhm,
and really dive into those pillars and how we can strengthen those pillars in our
mhm.
life, no matter what season we're in. And a
Right.
lot of people in our age group are caregiving,
Hmm.
and
Very true.
it's I mean, many of us for parents. I did that for a long time,
Yep.
and many of us for children, special needs children.
Mhm.
But we are in a season of caregiving, and I mean, I guess there's not really an age group that is caregivers. Almost everybody, though, I think finds themselves in that
Absolutely.
situation at
Hmm.
some point in their lives, and
Hmm.
it is difficult. It is um, one of the hardest things I've ever done
Yes.
to walk that journey and to recover from.
Recovering is, I would say, recovering is the more challenging than
Yeah.
being in it, because
Yes.
when you're in it, you're using that adrenaline and focus, and you're just there. And
Yes.
that the recovery is when you get that realization that the person's gone. It's like, how do I recover now?
Yes.
Yeah. They don't
Yes.
teach us. They don't teach us that in school.
The things that we really need to know, I feel like they
Mhm.
don't teach us at all. Like
No. Yep.
communication, leadership,
Hmm.
spiritual health, all the things that we really need to exist in this
Even
world.
how to handle grief.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be a great basic 101 class in
Wouldn't it?
elementary school. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So many of my clients have such a hard time dealing with grief because they have
Yeah.
no idea how
Mhm.
to process. So,
Right.
so we have to have you back, Drew, to go through all these
I'd
pillars
love
one
to.
by one. Yeah, we'd love to have you
I'd love
back.
to.
So, what is your superpower?
I think it has stayed the same from the last time you asked me, and I believe it's still about being able to break down walls.
Yeah.
Many people with whom I speak, when I get down to the pain points, just talking about the 6 pillars of health, there's an air of vulnerability and authenticity and honesty in answering those questions, really, truly, to their core. So I'd say it's breaking down walls so people are able to get rid of that mask and just be who they are, and that's very, very cathartic, being who you are.
I love that. I love it. And what is something that we can now? You showed us your book, your notebook there, and you write a lot in a day.
Mm, mm.
So, what is something that will get our listeners writing? I believe in the power of journaling. Just like you, I'm writing in a
Yeah,
journal all the time.
yeah. What helps me is I always, whenever I give a signed copy of my book, I write, and I sent one to Carrie because she was nice enough to be on my podcast. Choose to write your own story instead of letting others write it for you.
Yes.
When you're self-aware and you're focused in the moment, and you're dictating your next thought, your next breath, your next move, your next everything, then you're writing your own story. Because if you sit on in the stands and let somebody else write your story, they're going to write it, yet they're not. It's not going to be a true autobiography. It's
Right.
going to be a fictional depiction of who you
Mm,
truly are. And why do you want to be on your deathbed and say, you know what, I could have written my own story, I let other people write it for me, and
yes.
then on your gravestone or your obituary, it's like, that ain't me.
Yeah.
That's not me. You know.
Yeah.
So I would
I
say that.
love that. I love that. I feel like it's just been recently that I've really fully taken the pen back
Hmm.
and said, whatever time I have left, this is going to end the way I want it to end.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's very powerful. Thank you.
Hmm.
And if someone wanted to share that with you, how would they get a hold of you? And how can they get a copy of your book too? Because everyone needs to read it.
Oh, books on Amazon and Barnes and Noble.
Okay.
Still trying to get it in the like the bookstores, but when you
Yeah.
self-publish,
Yes.
it's a challenge to do so. I'm still working on it. So online, Barnes and Noble and Amazon.
Okay.
Best way to reach me, email drew@profitcompassion.com, or my website profitcompassion.com. And
Okay.
if there's a demand, I will do a free webinar on the 6 pillars.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, yeah,
All right. So if you want to be a part of this webinar, shoot Drew or me a message and let's get this going. I mean, enough of us. We get this. This is he's
yeah. And
giving.
I'll bring Carrie on to co-host the discussion on
I would love that.
that. All
I would
right.
love that.
Yeah,
Drew, thank you for hanging out with us today. We can't
absolutely.
wait to have you back very soon, not 3 years.
Okay.
And we will talk with you again. Thank you again.
Thank you.